Right, we're going live. And we are live.
Woo! Hello, everybody. Welcome to our live stream. This is our Hungarian Grand Prix debrief. And to be honest, I don't think we were really expected to be here. I don't think we ever expected that to be as crazy as it was. I think we just thought we were going to have a bit of a parade. But Hungary,
because you always have the video on in the background.
This is going to be very hard. Pick out your highlight of the race. I know exactly
George what yours is, Kira.
Round the outside. Around the long, mind the long.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Goes long.
Mick?
Yes, it was Mick.
Yeah.
And it was like round the outside all the way. Beautiful.
It's mine, Steph.
Watching Lewis Hamilton go from the start grid on his own. You won't stop tweeting about.
Steph, what was your highlight? Was it that as well?
I don't know. Oh no! Do you know what? No, because that wasn't a highlight. I was really actually vexed at that. I was gonna say when Max hit Mick, and then I was like, no, that actually really annoyed me.
Answer.
I mean, there were so many things you could pick from, and you've decided to say, I don't know. Esteban Ocon getting his maiden win, which is incredible, very well deserved. We had Carlos Sainz. Did you know Carlos Sainz now had 4 podiums in Formula?
Oh, YouTube, come back to me. Don't tell me, oops, something went wrong, Creator Studio. Go back and make it work.
We are back, I think. I think we're back.
Yes, I think we are back. Yay!
Yes, we are back. Sorry about that. Thanks to everybody who is waiting. If not, I'm sure we will, hopefully you get another notification. But we are back eventually. Right, should we just get into some of these questions? And if anyone's even here to listen to our answers, shall we answer one?
Yeah, let's go.
Go. So Isaac has said, do you think Alpine will keep it up, or was it just luck for that race? I think with Alpine we've seen a lot of ups and downs with them this year, so it'll be interesting to see whether they can keep the pace, because it wasn't just Esteban Ocon which had a lucky win. They had great pace in both Esteban and Fernando.
Yeah, definitely. They're Alpine are on such a roller coaster. I started the season off thinking that they would be such contenders, or Fernando especially would be such a contender for being right up there best of the rest. And they've not quite been able to deliver consistently. So I don't anticipate them suddenly becoming consistent now. I do think it will ebb and flow, but the highs have never been this high before, and it's great to see.
I totally agree. I definitely think that this is the highest we'll probably see Alpine this year. Obviously, because I don't really think they're going to be copping another win. But no, I definitely think it was a big, great weekend for them overall. I don't even know where they are in the championship right now, but I'm sure that a first place and a 4th place is going to be pretty good for them. So I'm sure they'll be living their best lives right now. But yeah, I think the form. Are we going again?
No, we're
we're trying to figure out
if we're 5th or 6th.
I think they're 5th.
Okay. I was like, is the stream broken again?
No. We're just trying to count on our little hand.
Yeah. Well, a lot of big points, but yeah, I don't really think that this form will continue. I think that the midfield teams are really, really strong. Like McLaren, Lando Norris would have been in to win that race had the leaders been taken out and had he not been taken out. So the McLarens definitely had more pace. Who else? The Ferraris definitely had a lot of pace. I think it was the first lap incident that basically put them in that position. And unfortunately, they're not the strongest of the midfield teams. So unless we have another crazy race like this, I don't see the Alpines being the top midfield team and being able to cash in on, the other's misfortune again.
And Motorsport Mike, what were your reactions to lap 1 and then Hamilton alone on the grid? I think we spoke about that a little bit later, but let's go to lap 1 rather than the Hamilton thing, because we will all just laugh at that. Lap 1, Valtteri Bottas and Lance Stroll, playing bowling a little bit. What did we think? Because I think there were 2 separate incidents there, but I think a lot of people did not pick up on the Lance Stroll one. They were kind of just all at it for the Valtteri Bottas one. So Lance Stroll kind of sneakily got away with whatever he done. What do we make of that? It was chaos.
Yeah, it wasn't good. And obviously, I think it's obviously not intentional, but the fact that Mercedes have twice in a row taken out Red Bulls, and Lewis Hamilton has magically crawled back on top of the championship isn't good for all the Twitter drama. But yeah, I think it was real. I don't know. I think it's easy to be really harsh on Bottas, but equally rainy conditions, really difficult braking points. I don't think he would have expected Lando to be in front of him, although he probably should now, considering his season's not going wonderfully and he's not always right in front. So I think it was a bit of bad luck, but also bad judgment. I don't think it was a mistake that could, I don't think it was a mistake no one else would have made.
Yeah, it was just a breaking point at the end of the day, wasn't it? And obviously it's slippery, and it was a concertina effect, I think. You know, it was like Nico Hülkenberg, what he done at Spa the other year, and it just happens. And it's, you know, first lap, if you do that into the back of someone, the other person, like, once you get, you know, reared at the back, there's nothing you can do about it, especially when it's so slippery. So everyone kind of got yeeted, and obviously we saw Lance Stroll then. We didn't really see it, but he went out the inside, was just not even on, he was on grass at that point.
He was on the grass. And then man was on the grass.
And who did he hit out? Was it Charles Leclerc?
He put out Charles and Daniel Ricciardo. He spun.
Yeah. So, I mean, Lance Stroll, also an idiot, but kind of got away with it. But yeah, I mean, Valtteri Bottas, it was harsh, but it was just such a bad time for him.
I think Lance got the penalty as well.
Yes. Yeah, but I mean, in terms of the media, I think he hadn't got any.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's easier to just scrutinize the guy who's second place in the Mercedes. Who's a second driver for Mercedes, who was obviously in this big championship fight now. Like, he got all of the heat, especially because we're getting another Mercedes driver taking out a Red Bull driver. So it's just, that's the narrative that everybody wants to follow. So look at Lance, really, because he actually has escaped fairly unscathed. You are correct.
He has. He's really got away with that one, because, you know, the rich daddy comments would have came back out if anybody would have really picked up on it. But do you know what? He got away with it. So, well, he did, but he didn't. Next, I want to move on to this question, which I think I'm going to answer first. Let's get into it a little bit. Is will Daniel Ricciardo, will he recover his form by the end of the year? And I just want to point out this, because a lot of people don't seem to understand. He got hit at the start of the race. He had as much damage as Max Verstappen in this race. That's why him and Max were pretty much just running, what was it, like P11, P12 together. And I think it was very easy to miss the fact that Daniel had this damage, but he was very close to retirement with Lando Norris in the red flag period, and people don't seem to understand this. So obviously his form isn't up to Lando Norris's standard so far at the start of the season, but he had a lot of damage this race. But in terms of his actual form, I think going forward, I think it's going to take some time for him to pick himself up. But I think that this is a long thing that McLaren want to do with him, and I'm confident that it's going to end up, you know, good. What do you think?
Oh, wow, I don't think I'm more skeptical now. Do you know what? I've had a lot of faith in Daniel Ricciardo, but I just don't think that he's working well with this McLaren car. So, you know, in his first year at Renault, he was a bit dodgy with the car, and he was like, obviously I've been with Red Bull for however many years, like, this is a completely new car I need to get used to. But I feel like he picked up with Renault a lot quicker than he's picking up with McLaren. Well, I remember Canada, his first year in Canada, and I think he ended up with like a 5th place or something, and he did really, really well in Canada. And then it kind of picked up from there. Like, there were some odd drops in performance, but Canada's like, what, June? And we're in August now, and he's not picking up that form. Like, I remember him getting better in the Renault a lot quicker than he's got in the McLaren. And I think I think it was Austria, the first Austria race, that we saw a comparison of Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo going around the circuit, and they drive the car very differently. And I just don't think that the McLaren is suiting Daniel's driving style. So he's very much having to adapt how he's learnt to drive to fit that car. And I think the fact that Lando has, you know, been in this car for 3 years now, he knows what he's doing. He knows how his driving style works with that car. And I think that Daniel is really, really struggling with that. And obviously he's older as well. He's been in Formula One for ages. He's having to kind of relearn how to drive to fit this car. And I think that that's what he's really struggling with. Some weekends he's picking it up. Some weekends he's not. So I'm really worried for him now that he's not really going to get the hang of it completely and like how we want him to, and bring out those consistent performances that we all expect from him.
But I guess you could also say on the other end is Lando is overperforming the McLaren. I think it's evident to say. I think the McLaren's very strong, but Lando is still overperforming it, which is great. But then it also reflects badly on Daniel. But I've still got some hope. I think the Red Bull's a very different car to drive. The Renault is also a very different car to drive as well. And I think a McLaren is kind of basic generic kind of car to drive in a way. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's not like to the extremities of the Red Bull
Kira's
or the
driven
Renault.
all of these cars, guys. This is the insider information.
It has the
characteristics
of like a Mercedes and like an Aston Martin, doesn't it? Like, it's not like a weird one, okay? I mean, I don't want to be like Crofty and point out that I've driven an F1 car every 5 minutes. I haven't driven one. I've driven I haven't driven anything actually. But yeah, Dorothy, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know if I would. Yeah, we look better than we did last time.
I think we're back.
Oh, we are. I think we are back. So there we go. We've lagged them. I think we're back. Right. Anyway,
fantastic.
Are we all good again?
We are all good. Donnie, do you want to finish a point, or should we?
Yeah, I was just saying, I think McLaren were kind of given Daniel until about mid-season to get to grips, and obviously that's summer break.
Yeah.
And it's not quite got to grips, has he?
Did you see the video of him on his halo at the end of the race?
No, it made me so sad.
And he was hugging his halo with his head like in it for like a minute, and I cried. I'll tell you, I cried. But anyway, let's move on from the sad times. Motorsport Mike has said, should FIA look at accident damage being part of the cash cap? Obviously, we know that a lot of teams have kind of came out, especially Christian Horner, to be like, look, when we've got this budget cap here, if we have an incident where a driver takes us out, should the damage, because obviously damage is very expensive, we know that if you hit the wall slightest, it's going to cost you hundreds of thousands of pounds. So that's kind of the question of, should damage costs be part of the budget cap, yes or no?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, you could argue that it shouldn't, because you need to factor damage into the costs of your year. You can't just go into the year expecting to not have any damage and then be like, okay, we won't factor having damage into our cost cap. Like, you shouldn't go in. That's not how you budget for your year. I understand what you're saying when you say, oh, if it's one driver's fault, that team should pay for it. But then I'm sorry to bring this up, but like, I'm just going to take it back to Silverstone, because even though Lewis got penalised for that, I think a lot of people agree that it wasn't wholeheartedly Lewis's fault. So then making Mercedes pay up for the 1.8 million pounds of damage or whatever that Red Bull then incurred, that's not fair. And I don't think with incidents you can ever always say it's cut and dry this person's responsibility or it was this person's fault, because technically Bottas didn't hit both Red Bull drivers. It was actually Lando. So are you going to try and get McLaren to pay for that damage because it was Lando that hit? Or are you going to say, well, technically Bottas caused the incident?
But I feel like this is something where they could start apportioning the blame. So personal liability. So in injuries, when like someone causes someone else an injury, the courts like decide what percentage of that injury was attributed to the party kind of thing. So maybe they should start attributing, like, maybe this was 10% Mercedes fault, so they are liable for 10% of the damages or something to that, and then they bring that in with the kind of penalty of the 10-second drive-through or whatever the penalty Bottas receives. So they're not paying for the whole of it, but they're paying a percentage of it, I think would perhaps make sense in this budget cap era.
Lawyer Dorney.
I know. That's why she's here, to give us the facts. But I guess that kind of lengthens the process of, if you were to sit there and try and blame, like, this is 30%, so pay this is 70%, and then it's like, well, you're going to have an endless argument of the teams being like, well, no, it's not our fault, and obviously at the end of the day it's the stewards' discretion, so it's up to them what they say is final. But then you're going to be like, well, are they going to appeal? Are they going to have this issue? So it opens a can of worms, and I think the teams are just going to have to take up the chin that this is racing, this is motorsport, they're going very fast, and sometimes they're going to touch each other, and you're just going to have to deal with that. Someone said here, shouldn't there be somewhat of a financial compensation for the damages, though, like a certain percentage? It's really difficult, because I just see it as it's racing, you've got to get on with it, to be honest. And I feel like, it's a lot of damage. I know some of it, and obviously if you had a Haas that would be in a situation where they don't have the money, it then, it's a lot harder for them. But I don't know, it depends on how far the budget cap's going to go, and it depends on, they're just going to have to trial it and see. But I don't think we're going to have too many crashes to actually kind of worry about that. Obviously Max's was really heavy and had quite a lot, but most of the time you don't see big crashes that kind of result like that. Normally it's either your driver making its own mistake, like say Yuki into the barriers or something.
Did we not have this question raised when all the tires at one of the circuits? No, the water holes. What do they call them?
Drain pipe. Oh yes,
no, this was Baku.
Flinging up and caused the Haas damage, and they were trying to discuss if Haas should be liable to pay that amount because it wasn't actually Haas's fault, or if it should be the circuit or whatnot.
Yeah, I think that would be the circuit, definitely. I think that it has been an argument before, hasn't it? I think that should, I always thought that would be the opinion of that should be the circuit, because, or it should be whoever's responsibility it was to make sure that drain pipe was down. Because I'm pretty sure it happened to George Russell twice in different years.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sure
to George as well. Yeah, both the Williams drivers ended up with Kubica as well. So yeah.
Poor.
But then you get into I don't like it. I just think all of the teams need to factor in their own amount of damage, because then it's like, okay, well, you need to pay that, or like whoever is responsible for the drain pipe. That's just a little simple man who's working and doesn't, and you can't be like, oh, sorry, you ruined an entire Formula One car, time to pay up, give me $1 million. Like, no, I just think all the teams, you should be factoring in damage costs, and even when it's not your fault, like, you have to factor that in to your season, because you know what Formula One is like. You know that you're going to have accidents. You know that there's going to be damage. And I think it just, we've talked on this channel as well about inconsistencies. And when you're saying like, oh yeah, okay, maybe you should be given a percentage. Well, there's still that, where do you find that consistency? Because you might have a very similar crash and then somebody be like, oh no, that's 10% or that's 20%. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a lot of variables that you have to consider with something like that. Okay, I think we're back.
We might be back. Let's see. Let's loiter before we talk about
BRB.
I think we are back. Yeah, we're back. Okay, so anyway, we really sorry about this today, guys. You don't have to deal with it, unfortunately. We aren't professionals, so that's what you get at the F-Series channel. We were talking about how much we love Williams and Nicholas Latifi. Steph, would you like to carry on?
Oh yeah, just that I love George, but like my heart is with Nicky right now. I just love him because I feel like he's not getting the recognition that he deserves. Like, this man is driving extremely well. He's nearly on par with George Russell on Saturdays now. Like, he's getting a lot closer, and we all know how exceptional George Russell is performing on a Saturday. So the fact that Nicky is getting closer, and the fact that he's able to show what he can do in race pace, like, I wish people would put some more respect on his name, just because
Dan Tipton. Sorry.
Oh God! We're not talking about Dan right now, okay? Anyway, Nicky came second in Formula 2, and yeah, it was not the most competitive season, but like, he is a good driver. He will be a solid midfield driver when Williams sort their act out. And I don't like it when everyone's like, get Nicky off the grid, because look, this man has more points than George Russell in Formula 1.
Oh, don't pull that one out.
Sorry.
We're buffing it again.
Oh no, I think we're okay. We're okay on mine.
The buffering is doing Steph dirty every time. What do I end up looking like? I can't even see.
I'm not buffering on mine, so I'm going to carry on talking until I can see it. I am happy for both of them. I think Ocon's story I've followed closely, and I think if anybody doesn't know it, I would recommend have a little search up. Or I think Formula One, I think it's beyond, what's it called? Beyond the
Grid.
Beyond the Grid. Very easy for me to forget. They had a really good podcast with him and he really explained his story, and they literally sold their house and lived in a caravan for his racing career. And I know that there's been some things come out about him when he was younger, and he wasn't the nicest, people might have said, but I love that man, and I think this was long overdue, and I'm very happy for him. So I love you, Esteban Ocon, and also I love you, George Russell, and I love you, Nicholas Latifi. So all in all, great day. Cheers. Oh, also someone asked me what I was drinking. I've got a raspberry mojito in a can. That's what I'm drinking. Cheers.
In a can. I'm happiest for Ocon. I don't think there's anything. I mean, first points is lovely and all, and it's great to see Williams get a double points finish, but I don't think there's anything happier than a driver getting their first dub.
Yep, exactly. What has Tictum said? I kept hearing about it. Just Dan doing what he normally does.
Just Dan.
Just Dan. Pretty sure. Oh, I don't really want to talk about the crash damage again. Don't really want to talk about it. Why do I feel like buffering is the highlight of the stream? Honestly, at this point, it really is. What else should we talk about then? I think one thing that I think is quite interesting is the thing on the formation lap that you do where a team can't tell you what to do. You have to tell them. I think this is obviously a very crucial thing that happened this year. And I think it happened to the Hasses a year or two ago.
Yeah, it did.
They told Roman and Kevin to come in. And from that, they then got penalised. And I think a lot of people can look at this situation and think, why did Lewis not come in? But at the same time, if he came in and no one else did, he'd be on the back foot. But then if he stayed out, he's a leader, he's a de facto leader. He's not, it's not something that he can follow everybody else. And everybody else came in. What do you think about that rule? Do you think it, obviously I get it for certain things, but then it's like, in this situation, it's really, it's worrying because you can't be like, well, I'm coming in at like the last minute. Are they going to be ready for you with tyres? Like, it's crazy, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's hard for whoever the leader is. And I think my brother and my dad were like, that shouldn't be a rule where you get to like make tyre changes before they were like, that shouldn't be a rule. You shouldn't be able to just come in. Because could you imagine if Hamilton had come in and everybody else had come in?
What do you do?
No one would have started on the grid.
Out and nobody goes.
And nobody, like, what do you even do? Do you just say, okay, well, the pit lane is open now, like, go? Like, what? How do you then do it? Or do you then just say, okay, everyone's come in, go round and line up again? I just think the whole thing was very weird. Just very, very strange. I think obviously everyone else could figure out that it was dry as you were going round. That's just the bit that I don't get, because when he went off the line, we literally heard his radio and he was like, yeah, it's dry. And I was like, well, could you not have figured that out a lap ago and like come in for them slick tires? So I definitely think that is a rule that definitely needs looking at, because if you are the leader, then you are on the back foot, because everyone else can follow each other and kind of see what everyone else is doing. But I guess that's what you get for being in the lead, for being the best.
Exactly, Donnie.
True. I don't know. It's just so difficult. I feel like you need to just play the rules of the game. I'm just seeing someone's commented, feel sad for Seb, and honestly, that's all I can think about. But I don't even want to talk about it.
I don't think we can.
I don't want to talk about it.
I love that so much.
Sebastian Vettel. See if he'd got a win, my wee heart.
Do you know what? That's something I think we could talk about. I think that the Alpine and the Aston Martin are really on pace with each other. I think they're quite on par. But why could...
I think we've disappeared.
Oh, no.
I don't think anyone can see us. Oh, guys, this stream is not going well today.
God, I hope you guys, can you hear us? Because we're just not hearing anymore.
I think everyone
can hear us, just can't see us.
We've turned the lights off, guys. Sorry about that.
Guys, just bear with. As long as you can hear us, I'll get the screens going again. Ladies, if you'd like to continue.
As long as we can hear. Well, this is now a podcast, so this is chaos, guys. I'm so sorry.
This is literally just, and it's lights out.
It's lights out and sorry, guys. As long as you can still hear us.
What were we even saying? Oh, my heart for Seb.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to pick up a bit of a point of why Sebastian could not get past Esteban Ocon. Like, why could this, Oh, we're there, but we're not there. I'm just watching this stream, seeing what's happening. The Zoom call is coming back, guys. You
can see our Zoom now.
Oh no, we're fitting ourselves back in. Don't worry, guys. We'll be there in a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. Ask some more questions whilst we're here, and we'll fit into our lovely boxes soon. This is as chaotic as the Hungarian Grand Prix. Do you know what? That's absolutely true. That is kind of what we were aspiring to do. We thought we'd replicate, but
we've had a red flag period.
This stream has never been so bloody difficult to figure out.
I know. I mean, you're not even in your box anymore.
Peak.
We have just given up. Like, we've literally just Who is still
Guys,
watching
I
this?
hope you're
At this
enjoying the chaos because.
Guys, there's 30 people
this is
still
F-Series
watching.
chaos.
There's 30 people.
Okay, I think when it. Oh, we're back in the. You're back in the boxes.
You're
Wait,
not in your
You're
box,
not in your
though.
box.
Now I am.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you are. Okay.
But yeah, the green car, the Aston Martin,
Mm-hmm.
and the blue car, the Alpine, are very even on pace. So yeah, I don't quite know why Seb couldn't get past. Did he have some damage? Did he pick up any damage in the big hoo-ha?
I just think Ocon was driving like a champ.
Because he
You
didn't
know
fall
what?
back. He was just there for like 1.1 second, 1.5 seconds. It just wasn't going anywhere.
See, this is why I think that Ocon's drive was so spectacular, because Lewis, the way that Alonso was defending, like that is the work. That was fantastic defending. I thought he did such a good job. But the fact that Lewis was able to get past him is because Lewis is so good. And we've had this conversation as well about Seb and whether he's, you know, past his prime. And even though I do think that he drove fantastically, I think that maybe in his younger days, he would have been feisty enough, got his elbows out enough that he would have forced his way past Esteban, kind of like Lewis and did with Alonso, because Esteban wasn't defending as well as Alonso was defending with Lewis. So this is why I think that Esteban Ocon did a great job, because he managed to keep Seb behind him. And Seb was attacking. There were several moments where it was really, really close. They were like wheel to wheel. It was like, who is actually going to come out on top?
Equally,
so
I was just going to say, I don't know if...
Don't even turn your lights off.
It's just got really dark really quickly. I probably should take
Good night.
Never mind.
I was just going to say, I don't know if Seb was maybe playing it a little bit safe. I'm sure he wasn't, because he's a racing driver, but knowing that a really solid P2 performance wasn't worth chucking it down the inside, whereas I do think Hamilton and Alonso might have been a little bit of old history. Some of those overtakes were very, very close to being a bit too spicy.
Yeah, I think Alonso was great. It's so nice to see him up there in Lewis. It's like the craziest thing. But yeah, I don't know why Sebastian was so stuck. I don't know why he never sent it up into turn one. But to be fair, the cameramen were too focused on Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso this weekend to actually show us the fight for the lead. So we didn't really see it, to be honest with you, which was a shame, because I would love to have seen a little bit more of the fight, because I was just watching from the graphics. So like, oh my God, he's like, at some point he was like 0.3 away from him and we just weren't on it. So no idea what that happened. Moving on to something else, which I think we kind of all agree with, is what do you think about the crowd booing for Lewis? It's immature. It's boring. I don't know what to say about it. It's just really, it's annoying and it's upsetting, especially with everything that's gone on, and especially because he was literally getting racial abuse like 2 weeks ago. It's just not necessary, and just grow up. As I said on Twitter, grow up. Anyone else got to say anything?
Nope, absolutely nothing.
You guys paid to go to the Hungarian Grand Prix and you booed Lewis Hamilton, who's sat enjoying his little P2. He's on his way for a little summer holiday. You guys can keep booing if you want, but it's not going to do anything. I mean, Lewis is one of the most resilient and persevering drivers. He's had to deal with so much that people just don't understand, and you think that a little booing is going to rattle him. Like, you can boo a little bit louder if you want, because it's not going to affect him. Like he said, it only fuels him, and haters are his motivators. So you can keep hating, because he's going to go and he's going to continue to be successful, and you guys are going to be sat there booing. But yeah, grow up, have some respect, and it's unnecessary. But if you guys, not you guys, sorry, I'm talking about you, not you guys, but like, if whoever wants to keep booing, why do I keep saying you guys, not you guys, whoever's booing, you can keep booing if you want to, but at the end of the day, you're just fueling him to get number 8. So good luck with that. Hope it's working out for you.
Yeah, hope you're enjoying it while he's on his holiday. He's not giving a damn about you. And a point of, I think the fans are bored of his success does not warrant booing him whatsoever. I think if I wasn't a Lewis Hamilton fan, and say if it was Max Verstappen or anybody, you know, that maybe I wasn't on the side of, shall we say, in a championship fight, if they were, dominating for the last however many years, like Dorney, take Dorney for example. She's a Red Bull fan. She's watched this Mercedes dominate. She's not sitting there going, oh, boo Lewis Hamilton. So that's not really an excuse. But anyway, moving on to something a little bit nicer was the chance for Ocon. Did we hear that? Because I heard that. It was great. It was like, oh God, I was joining in. I was like, oh God, yeah.
I love that. I love that.
It was so good. It was, you can hear it. So I can't believe you can hear it. It was like, oh God.
I wasn't listening for it, to be fair. But that's fantastic. Great. More chanting for Ocon. I'm happy.
I know. It's just so happy. Just a happy leg.
It's just, that's a great thing to round this weekend off on. I think Esteban Ocon finally, like with his other French compatriots of Pierre Gasly and Charles Leclerc, as much as they aren't besties, they were in the
Monegasque.
Oh well, they were in like their French four, wasn't they? Weren't they with Antoine and Charles and Pierre? So it's nice for them three to, be successful and have him in their thoughts. And I think that's just the main thing. And Esteban's been waiting for this for so long, and I'm sure Antoine will be looking down, very, very proud of him. But yeah, just on final thoughts, really. What are you guys gonna say? Let's say 3 words to describe the weekend and the race. Go for it.
Okay, I'll go wet, chaotic, surprising.
Okay.
I will go adrenaline, exciting. Well, I was going to say elbows out, but that's 2 words. We'll hyphenate it. We hyphen.
I'm going to say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say Ocon. Oh no, I'm not. I'm going to say
this is your question. Good job.
I'm going to say Ocon, Williams. Funny, because it was funny, this race. Lewis Hamilton was the funniest man. Even his radios, he didn't have a clue what was going on.
Sorry, you can't say Ocon or Williams. Those don't count as words. They're just naming people.
Someone's just made a very good point in the comments. They've said that Alpine got a win before but I don't even know who I work for. McLaren and Aston Martin, which is very shocking.
Very true. I think a lot of people are sitting there thinking Lando Norris's win's coming soon. It's not coming. That's a very good point, Gambit. We did not think of that one.
Did not think of that. But I do think every season does have one spicy race, like Sakir, Checo, you weren't. Yeah. So the rest of the races are going to be boring.
That's it,
guys.
Don't say
that. We're not even halfway through, okay? I need another one of these kind of races if I'm going to get through these. No, sorry. Can we actually just talk about this? Sorry. This 3 triple headers in 11 weeks. That's 9 races in 11 weeks. How disgusting is that?
No, but they're trying to fill it even more as well.
I'm actually quite fuming.
Do you think we're going to have a double header in USA?
Yeah, Texas.
Texas going to be the Texas Grand Prix and the COTA.
I'm actually going to be taking some weeks off, team. I'll go MIA.
Yeah. So expect some more races in that 11 weeks. But yeah, that's it for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Overall, we had an amazing weekend. Lovely to see Esteban Ocon win. Williams, all round a really good weekend, I think. Sorry to everyone that crashed out. Do apologise for that, but we had a great time. Thanks everybody for joining us today. I hope you all enjoyed the live stream. Do leave us a comment and subscribe.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us as well.
Sorry guys, it's what happens. You're not here at the Sideburn channel. Do you know what I mean? You're not anywhere fancy. You aren't FSeries. So if you do like it and you are new, subscribe, like the video. Gonna go and enjoy my raspberry mojito now. Comment down below what you thought about the Hungarian Grand Prix. Comments do always help us so much. But yeah, thanks everybody. We're going to end this now, and we'll see you on Friday for another FSeries Friday.
Very special.
Very special. Very, very,
very special. Check our socials on Friday.
Be on our Twitter at FSeries__ for this weekend. It's gonna pop off. That's all we're gonna say.
So excited! Right, okay, bye everyone.